All right, happy Monday, October 24th. It is the last warm day here, so I've got my tank top on. We're going to be at about 76 degrees, really windy. That's the only reason it gets warm here in the later season, or I should say early fall, when it should get colder. I think the high temperature should be about 60, 65. It's 75 today, so we got a south wind, and that's why it's windy, bringing in the warm air. Anyway, over the weekend, I saw a lot of chatter about the Russian, I don't know if it's the Russian defense minister, if it's the, I'm not sure, one of the top level guys in Russia, making a lot of phone calls to European nations saying, hey, just want to let you know, if there's a dirty bomb attack in Ukraine, it's the Ukrainians doing it. They're pulling it off as a false flag. So he's putting out the message. Apparently he's called the United States a couple of times, been on the phone with the Secretary of Defense, I believe. So we've got, and he's called other European nations. So basically kind of front run any nefariousness or any kind of war baiting. So it's interesting. Who knows? He may be lying and Russia might be pulling it off. But looks like they're trying to escalate things. Ukrainian President Zelensky keeps calling for more action, more troops, and, trying to escalate that war in Ukraine, because that's what they do when the money collapses. They need some sort of skirmish. They need something to distract you. And there's been a lot of money going to Ukraine, so I imagine if there's a full-blown war, you are going to have a lot of money getting dumped in there. You're going to have a lot of bad things happening like they do in every war. All kinds of dirty money to be made. And that's what they need, apparently. Anyway, I saw, that was last week, there was an auction for some Levi's jeans. Now, somebody paid $76,000 for Levi jeans. I know it wasn't Richard Hart. It was, for those of you in the crypto space, you know who Richard Hart is. He's involved with Hex. It's a token on the Ethereum blockchain. Hex. Richard Hart. $76,000 Levi's. No! He's into Gucci. So you've got somebody paying, why would they pay $76,000 for the blue jeans? And actually it ended up being about $87,000 after you added in the auction fees and all the other ancillaries. So $87,000 for a pair of jeans. Why would somebody do that? Well, because there's some history. Oh, look at the goats. Got a skeleton there doing the heil, Interesting. Squirrel. Lots of action here. Stay on the road. Keep it between the ditches, brother. All right, so you've got an $87,000 pair of jeans, Levi's jeans. Well, the reason why they cost so much, or somebody was willing to pay so much, is because they were found in an old mine. It might have been in California, old mine shaft, old mine, and they were from the 1880s, they're thinking. So we've got an authentic pair of Levi jeans that were used, were worn, and still could be worn. I think it was 36, 32, so anybody out there, you can wear them around. But this is the kind of thing that people with money, want to acquire. They want to acquire unique things, artwork, because this is really a form of art, historical art in a way, because it's a one-of-a-kind item. There's a story to go with it. It came from a specific place, from a specific manufacturer. And the label, when you look at it, it's very interesting. It tells the historical story, because you've got on there, it said, I think, made with white labor, I think is what it said. I think those were the words. Or proudly made, something like that. But it was made with white labor. And the reason why is because you had a lot of the Chinese coming over, working on railroads, and, like every time in history, anytime there's a mass influx of immigration for whatever reason, you've got people who are here that are resistant to that. And so it was kind of like the Made in the USA label of the time. Made with white labor, not Chinese labor, not, some other group's labor, white labor. And, us, and, that whole mentality. And it was on the label. So, that in and of itself is a very unique thing. You're not going to see that anymore. So somebody was willing to pay for that. I get it. There's artwork that people pay millions of dollars for because it's a one-of-a-kind item. It was made by a certain person. You know the history of that person. You know where it was made. There's a story to go with it. And people want to invest in that story because it's almost like they're becoming part of history. They're now part of that story. And the further it goes back, the more interesting it becomes sometimes. So $87,000 for a pair of jeans. Something unique, something very finite. And you think about it, if they're going to print unlimited money, and you continue to print money and create money out of nothing, I mean, wouldn't you want to have something unique, something tangible? And the guy that bought it says, you know, he hopes to sell it for $150,000 at some point, which I think he easily will do. Just because of it's. See, if I were a collector, you know, that's why all these billionaires, they collect things, they want these unique items, these things that tell a story, that are part of history. If I, you know, had unlimited money, this would be something I would be interested in. I mean, completely, I mean, it's something I would be interested in. Would I ever buy something like that? Probably not, because I think of the good that kind of money can do. But if I'm collecting things, I mean, this would be something that would definitely, you know, you'd want in your museum, you know, your personal collection, I think. So anyway, because it tells the story of the mining, you know, and the history of and what happened in California or in the West, and, you know, the whole Levi's story, and, you know, real denim, and, you know, made with white labor. I mean, just all these unique things about it. So that's pretty interesting to me, how that went down. But it just underscores the fact that in this world where you've got a bunch of throwaway things, and I mean, it's constant, you know, the things that, you know, air fryer, bought an air fryer, didn't even last a year, thing broke, and the panel goes out. This is my experience. My experience with things that are created today, that's exactly what they are. They're just throwaway things. Now, is somebody, you know, 100 years from now, 140 years from now, going to want to collect an air fryer? You know, they're gonna want something that has some personal. They're gonna want this yellow tank top that Westwood wears all the time. You know, something like that, because it tells a story and it's been on a lot of pictures. You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, in a world where you have unlimited money creation, there are things that money is going to go into, and it's going to command a high price. That's why I think, you know, things like silver, things like gold, things like cryptocurrency with a limited supply, especially Litecoin, only 84 million. At some point, you're going to want to port those. I think a lot of people are going to want to port over the money that they see that just is unlimited. You know, it's created out of nothing, and the more they create, the more the cost of things go up. You know, inflation, that's all it is, inflating the monetary supply, inflating the money, the volume of the money, and then that goes somewhere. It goes into items, and so the price of those items goes up. The price of these jeans will go up if they continue to create more money, because somebody else is going to have more money, and, you know, they're going to want to do something with it because they realize they're losing purchasing power every day. So they're going to want to put it in something unique that someone else is going to find desirable and pay them more money down the road. So it's basically an inflation magnet, an inflation sponge. And that's how I see cryptocurrencies. I mean, they're just sponges. They're going to suck up all this money. I guess that's a way to get out of the whole system, right? They just suck up all the money and transfer it over to a new system. The thing is, as they do that, you're going to want to make sure you've got the cryptocurrencies that you can hold in your possession, that you know, that they just can't create out of nothing. A CBDC, a central bank digital currency, it is not a store of value. It is something that the banks are going to issue. They're going to say, here you go. Here's all your money from the government, your stimulus, your Social Security, everything from the government. We're going to pay you in CBDCs, you know, a type of digital money. And you're going to think, oh, okay, that works like Litecoin. Oh, that's fine. That works like Bitcoin. Well, it really doesn't, because it's an unlimited supply. It's no different than the dollar. All they're doing is giving it a different name. It's a central bank digital currency. They're going to put limits on it. You're not going to be able to save up for a rainy day with a CBDC. Why? Why not? Why can't I save it just like any other form of money? Well, because it's programmable. It's because they can put limits on it. They can say, hey, we need these funds to roll over. We need velocity of money in the economy. You've got 45 days to spend this money, otherwise you lose 10% of it. Or they say, no, you're not going to lose any of it. You're going to lose all of it. You need to use it. So they're going to force you to use it. They can do anything they want with it. Hey, you can't buy this or you can't buy that. And so they can totally control the money centrally. And that's a bad thing. Now, what can happen is you can front run that. If you know that everything's going digital, which it is, because you pay digitally all the time, you can front run that and you can say, you know what, I'm going to take some of this money that they're creating, you know, out of nothing, and I'm going to put it into some sound cryptocurrencies right now before this whole digital lockdown occurs. So you can buy Litecoin right now for, I don't know, $54, $54 today. There's only 84 million. If everybody in the US said, hey, I'm going to buy Litecoin, there's only enough for a quarter of a Litecoin for each person. And that's after you hit the 84 million limit. Right now, there's only like 72 million out there. So, you know, you still got 12 million to go over the next 100 years. That's how